up? What up? Big Herc916. Thank you for supporting. Thanks for subscribing. You know I'm all about that positivity and that motivation, but I also try to keep you guys laced up on the game, man, so you don't fall prey to some bullshit. And we all know about King Von from Chicago, who was recently gunned down in Atlanta. And you know, I did a video about if you can't throw them hands, you need to keep your mouth shut, because a lot of guys are just murdering over the fact that they might be catching an ass whooping, or they can't catch a fade, and you know, they don't want to get hit upside the head, but they run their mouth, so they decide to kill somebody. Then you got the guys out there who are actually, you know, putting in the work, killing just to be killers. And you know, there's always karma. Karma always comes back. You know, it's like what you put out into the world. The energy is so powerful, man. I tell you guys, man, be careful what you speak. Be careful the life you live. It might not hit you, it might hit a loved one, it might hit a distant relative, but it will come back. It's inevitable. So another rapper, MO3, from Texas, man, was shot recently, November 11th, on Interstate 35 in Dallas. MO3, the real name is Melvin Noble. He was only 28 years old. They said it was broad daylight and traffic was, I guess, at a standstill, and the gunman got out the car, went up to MO3's car. He got out and tried to run and was shot several times in the back of the head. Broad daylight. They said it was brazen. Man, they said this was like some gangland type shit, man. And you know, he was you know, he was known, I guess, for his 2019 track Everybody with Boosie Badass. He got over 50 million views on YouTube, and he was up and coming. And I don't really know anything about the guy's personal life, but one thing I can say is that for a lot of, you know, young men out there wanting to be rappers, they take on a certain persona, a certain lifestyle to go with their image, their rap tone, so that they can have the credibility and so that they will be taken serious. And in the process, you can get a lot of enemies like that. You can have a lot of people who either you've crossed or somehow had beef with, and it can create a hell of a situation down the road when you think you've kind of outgrown that. You know, you it could be years later and you're with your family and you're thinking, oh man, that was my past, I'm a changed man. But to some guys who maybe you might have murked somebody's cousin, you know, you might have put somebody's dad in the hospital or brother, and they ain't forgot. So just be aware that just because you've moved on doesn't mean that they've moved on. It doesn't mean that they're gonna forget about what took place, what you did. You gotta always be looking over your shoulder, man. Especially if you in the same places that you were putting in a lot of that work at. You know, I'm not here to try to judge you guys. I know in the last video I said, you know, it's like you guys are being dummies, and I say that because it is almost dumb to fall into the trap that's been laid by this genre of music that's really highly promoted. And so many of you have so much more potential that you can still make music. You know, you don't have to be an actual character outside of that puts you in harm's way or your family in harm's way. You know, you know, like I said, they put so many fingers at the systematic racism and the police and this, and then it's like, dude, most likely if you're gonna have a problem, and usually most of these things happen before you even hit 30, it's gonna be somebody that looks just like you. It's gonna be a guy that was in the streets, who was also doing his thing, because, you know, a lot of these guys on their way up, you know, they got to be street dudes. They got to do what they got to do to survive. The music ain't paying until, you know, years down the line, and whatever you did to get there, it's still there. It didn't just disappear. You know, you might have, like I said, distanced yourself from it, but it's still there, and it could still possibly reemerge. So I say that to say, man, be careful and watch yourself, man. And, you know, rest in peace, MO3, man. And, you know, I'm going to keep putting it out there. I'm not trying to preach to y'all. You're going to do what you're going to do regardless. You want to be a gangster, be a gangster. I want to be a gangster, and I went to the highest level of gangsterism. And like I said, God bless, I wasn't, you know, stuck in the pen forever. Like a lot of guys I've seen in there, you know, cold killers who are now leading prayer groups, who are now asking to, you know, clean guys' cells, work all day in Unicor, you know, making parts for various private businesses, because now they're basically slave labor. That's what happens when a killer goes to the pen. There's no accolades for a killer in the pen. Don't nobody care. There's a bunch of other killers that all got caught. So think, man, think about the big picture. How much do you love your family? If you do have things out there, maybe go back and make amends. You know, I still have suckers emerging from my past here and there, and you know, you got to always keep an eye, because you can't, you know, ever let your guard down, because that's just a part of, you know, what you've lived, what you've endured. So, you know, you got to always be thinking about that. But whatever you did to get there, just realize that it's made you who you are. But you have to somehow give back some positive in order to try to balance out the universal the universal laws, man. You have to put, you know, good out there with whatever dark you did. And man, they always said, man, you know, once they can create this whole program, they don't need to do nothing. It contains itself, man. It contains itself. It needs nothing but somebody to kind of keep the radius in a certain area, you know, patrol that. But other than that, they're going to keep the chaos going among themselves, you know. And after you murk somebody, you took the dude's life or whatever you did. I mean, you know, what's next? What's next? How many people, you know, does it take? And then, you know, when you do get caught, you're a serial killer, serial murderer, and you're gonna get the injection. You know, that's all that's left. Or somebody's gonna get you the same way you got them. That's always an option. The penitentiary, man, I told y'all what that's about. You know, as long as you ain't, you know, you're free right now, you ain't got caught, you think you're all on the good, but besides worrying about getting caught by the police, you gotta be worried about getting caught by the relatives or the friends or the homies or the ones you smoked. They ain't forgiving. They ain't forgiving, man. So be careful out there, man. Big Herc916. Hey. That work. Hey, see, while y'all in quarantine, I got that work. Split the coronavirus wig, man. Hey, go to the link in the description and get your limited edition coronavirus wig splitter shirts. Big Herc916 getting down fresh out.